was $500 million has gone to Common Core. Tell me where the next $500 million is going to come from to create something besides Common Core. Give me something else besides no.
And there's that point, but fundamentally, do we, it's factual conversation should be had on why we should go to an alternative. Because I think there's a lot of factual information out there that all of the work that's been done to come up with standards has arrived us at Common Core. Not politics, but process. And so that's what's a challenge in that whole political conversation. It sort of gins up the need to try to weigh in as a district.
Well, there's a hearing Wednesday. And we've been asked, it was rather short notice, I got it this afternoon late, if any of, since our board did present at in Wichita State Convention, and any of our board members would like to go to this hearing and testify. So the opportunity is there, but it is short notice, and certainly we can support that board member or those board members that would choose to do something like that, to represent not only the district, but represent a school board member's, a community member's perspective on the Common Core. They hear from superintendents like me all the time, or they hear from curriculum people like Dr. Dennis all the time, or they hear from teachers with a good deal of frequency in reference to the Common Core. But they don't hear enough from board members and community folks. And you are board members and community folks.
Table interested or available?
Do you need written testimony ahead of time? You need it written.
Generally speaking, about a page of written testimony would go with you, and then you would think maybe the testimony, we can help you with the process of how that works. It's a clean process, and basically you would make copies of your testimony, you would hand it out to the education committee, and then you would give a brief overview and not read that page. You just give a brief overview of why you support the Common Core, if that's your choice.
The chairman's secretary would want that 24 hours ahead of time as their policy. But depending on circumstances, they may give a little bit more.
What time's the hearing?
I'm sorry,
What time's the hearing?
I'll have to check.
The other bill, while he's checking, that I think is pretty pertinent to the school boards, of course, is local elections. And I don't have the bill number for that either, but I think there may have been a hearing this last Monday, changing elections to all elections, common with your state and national elections, which a lot of testimony lined up at the hearing opposing that as confusing partisan politics with local initiatives and leadership. I thought that was all very appropriate. That's just the other thing we need to be aware of as a school board.
Again, it's House Bill 2621. The hearing is Wednesday at 1:15. Which room?
I would be interested, but there's no way I can get type testimony done, because I'm in trial all day tomorrow.
And it just says here, written testimony would be helpful. But
We could create the testimony from our
we could create
presentation.
we could create a draft
As a
or
group.
something that, and then you make it your own.
And you don't necessarily even have to speak off of that written testimony. You can add to your written testimony.
Yeah, I testified once before, so
Please.
I'll volunteer. I've got a full day, but I'll move my stuff around.
Yeah. It's good to get my
Got two faculty meetings that day.
or we'll get together
Are
first
you all
thing.
available or interested?
No, I'm
literally am in trial all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
When
If
I
you're
can't
willing to
hear
go, we're willing to do what we can to help you get
But
there.
you are good.
Would be nice to let our representatives know
Yeah,
that you'll be there.
that's
So you have some
awesome.
friendly faces in the audience there.
Do you want, we have somebody from the administrative team travel? Back, reference, backup, whatever?
And we just need to talk about who.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody's available, I don't know. I'll schedule.
I'll put something together, put you an email out tonight.
Okay.
Anything else on the house bills that we're talking about? Okay.
Just a clarification, you mentioned, Mark, that I'm fund Common Core. Common Core is not federally funded. So I guess I don't understand that comment unless I'm not aware of what.
Well, I haven't read the bill, so I hate to, I'm not exactly sure what the approach is, but effectively block implementation.
Well, okay, yeah, I understand that concept, but,
But the only funding mechanism really available to the legislature is funding.
right, but we are not getting any federal funds to implement Common Core or college and career
We're
readiness.
talking about state legislature,
Okay,
state funds.
you said to unfund,
Basically to put a condition on funding that it not be for implementation.
oh, I see, okay, sorry,
State fund.
got it. Thank you.
Joanne, do we have just Gloria Wednesday afternoon, or we need another party?
I believe we have,
There.
Eve, did you have?
I did have a question. I know in the future, we're going to be looking at the calendar issue, and I didn't know when that was likely to come up, but I wanted to make sure that even though we might not have the staff input, that we have enough time so we can gain community input on any proposed changes, especially if there's likely to be impact on parents or community members. Do we have a time frame for that yet?
I believe, Dr. Carlin, the two calendars, the traditional calendar and then the alternate calendar, is going to a vote to all 1,200 staff members within the next couple of weeks. Is that right, Dr. Dennis?
24th, I believe it was out.
So it'll be next week. So,
So are we looking at March 3rd for that to come to us or later?
I don't know exactly what his plan is at this point. I know he wants to get the vote, tabulate that, and see where we're at. And then I've got some questions for you to answer too, so I'll get back to you.
Is this something that will be presented and then we'll be looking at voting later?
It'll be presented to you in the form of a first reading, and we would ask that you not take action on it that evening, just like these proposed policies. And then, actually, probably 2 weeks to a month would pass before you would take a final vote on the calendar. That's our common practice.
If it is presented on the 3rd, we have basically a full month before the next full.
Yeah, it's just a concern to me that if there is some changes from basically what we're doing now, that we give the community a good opportunity to provide any input that they might have on whether this is going to work for them, or there were issues, or what, so that we have all this information to consider when we make our decisions.
The traditional calendar, I believe, would have about the same impact as it has right now. But if the vote of the staff was to recommend, and the calendar committee was to recommend the alternate calendar, I think it would have some impact
calendar committee's been going, and the discussion and the research into deciding what to recommend on the alternative calendar. You know, and speaking with just a few people, I think there's a lot of positive ideas about having more teacher collaboration time, which is what part of this alternative calendar is looking for. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I just, Roy, I appreciate you being here tonight, and I'm glad you stuck around to this point. With the insurance discussion we had earlier, it just makes me think that this might be a topic that is gonna need as much communication as possible, which kind of falls under your umbrella. But I also think of, you know, our communication students, our broadcasting students, and maybe this is something that we can take to the next level and help our students not only learn about it in the process, but help KJ and Melinda with the process of getting this information out, not only to our staff, but to the community, maybe through BBS or some kind of system like that. I just look at it as a good opportunity to spotlight with resources we already have in place and manpower we have in place.
Any other comments? The next Board of Education meeting will take place Monday, March 3rd at 6 o'clock in the board meeting room.
15.
Mr. President, I move we go into executive session for the purpose of discussing matters related to actions adversely or favorably affecting a person as a student because if this matter were discussed in open session, it might invade the privacy of those discussed at 7:45